Lisa Sweeney here from Business in Heels, and I am so lucky today. I'm here with the lovely Kathy Wong, who's agreed to be one of our ambassadors, and she's going to tell us all about her most amazing business. So Kathy runs a social enterprise called Morocco. So Kathy, tell us a little bit about, what you've done in building this awesome business that's got some amazing values behind it. Oh, that is so nice, really. So, there's millions and billions of kids out there in the world, Kathy. How did you choose, which kids to help, and how did you go about doing it?
Yeah, good question. That was a difficult one because it was like, oh, there's so many needing help. And, to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be in Africa or it was going to be in an Asian country, because on my radar, that was where poverty existed. I didn't even think of India, Lisa, and it wasn't, it was really random that I came across India, and I really am convinced that that was where I was meant to be, because I basically wrote to all these charitable partners because I knew we needed to collaborate with one. I didn't want to start my own foundation.
Yep.
And I wrote to so many that I thought would be appropriate, and they either didn't respond or the response was thank you, but no thank you. And it was like, I want to give you money. I can't believe you're not responding. And I have a very vast network. I put it out to everybody I knew. There were some people coming back, but they weren't the right fit. And I was becoming quite desperate at this stage because we had already designed the products, ready to go to the manufacturers, and we still didn't know this story, And so I then was at a conference one weekend. I said to the facilitator, you know what it is that I'm trying to do. Would you be able to contact me or connect me with anybody who could help? And through that situation, he had a friend that was going up to India all the time, supporting this charity partner for the last 10 years. So I was put in contact with a lovely lady called Julie Toms, and that's how I got introduced to our charity partner, the Hope Foundation.
The Hope Foundation, what a great name. That is so good.
Yeah. And then, when I learned about what was going on in India, India's got the highest rate of human trafficking in the world.
Wow.
And some of the things I learned, I thought, wow, that's where I'm meant to be.
Yeah, okay. That's amazing. And so India's vast. Whereabouts in India are you, and who are you helping there?
So at the moment we're helping, so the Hope Foundation, they're actually an Irish charity, but they actually have their operations based in Calcutta. Mm-hmm. And so most of their projects, there's about 60 different projects are all around that area. It's called the West Bengal area. And then, they occasionally will partner up with some other NGOs, and they go beyond that, but it's mostly in that Calcutta area. Yeah.
And you've been there, haven't you? You've seen the kids that you're helping, yeah?
Yeah, I have. And look, that was the best. That's the best part of what we're doing. Seeing those children, seeing the joy on their faces, seeing what they've gone through, and they can still be so happy is just priceless.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And so, tell us a little bit about your journey there, because I think, the story in itself is great.
Well, God, if you'd asked me 3 years ago that I'd be sitting here talking to you today, I really would not have believed you, Lisa. So my journey was, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I studied at design college as a graphic designer. I had a very, very short, I think it was 16 months in total I worked for over 2 different jobs. And then I started my own business. And then that particular business, because I've had 2 others as well, went for 19 years, and I retired in my early 40s, had a life of retirement for 10 years, did all the things I wanted to do in my life, which was amazing. And then I saw my circumstances change. I actually got divorced. At that time, we were living down in a country area. And it then saw me coming back to the city. And then within 2 months of relocating, I just had this message, and that message would change the course of my life. And it was just 3 words. And those 3 words were, make a difference. Mm-hmm. And so it's funny because I had always supported children's charities, fostered children. And I always said, Lisa, one day I'm going to do something really big with kids. And so my one day came, 3 years ago. And so that message, which at the time I thought was just a crazy dream, but realised it wasn't, basically set up a whole series of events that occurred very rapidly. So the first one was learning about the children, 22,000 children die a day from poverty, learning about the kids with no shoes, learning about human trafficking, learning about organ harvesting. It was like, what? I can't believe this, I was very, very naive about poverty, and it just really touched my heart, Lisa, and I thought, I have to do something to help. So that happened more or less in a few days after I got this message. And I can't even tell you where this information came from. Like, was it on the internet? It must have been on the internet, but I can't even remember. And then literally a few days later, I read about social enterprise. I read about, these are businesses that are wanting to impact on a social issue in the world. And so it's using the power of business for good instead of just businesses traditionally being all about making profit. And I just thought, wow, that's it. And usually a social enterprise, there are two models. There are a for-profit model and a not-for-profit model. Yep. And the for-profit model is usually, you sell a product or a service that people want. And the product or the service has to be good enough to stand on its own. And then the icing on the cake is the cause. And so that is the way that cause can be, the work can be sustainable, because unlike traditional models of the traditional charity models where people are giving all the time and the organisation is constantly fundraising, that's not sustainable. So I just put together the need to help these children, the social enterprise, and that's how I came up with my business model.
Which is fantastic. And you're also really passionate about women as well, so which is hence why you've agreed to be a Business in Heels ambassador. So tell us a little bit about how all that works together for you.
Yeah, well, look, ever since my days of being an entrepreneur, which is a bit of a way back, I always can remember, because I was dealing at the time with that darker side, the corporate side, and I was constantly in boardrooms, with senior management, CEOs, senior management who were men. And I can recall quite distinctly the way I was treated. And so from way back then, I knew how difficult it was to be a woman in business. And so that is why I've always been passionate about that. And I'm passionate too because I do see women are very different in the way they do business. Women, you teach one woman, it's that expression, she'll teach a village, because she has this natural, natural nurturing characteristic within her. And so, and women tend to connect and network generally more than men do. Yeah. So for me, I really believe in, women having these opportunities that even now in our present day, we're still behind the eighth ball,
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, when I met you and your organisation and what you're doing, there was a perfect alignment, women supporting women through business. And, that's why I decided to become an ambassador.
Yeah, and, the statistic about 90% of women's income goes back into the community, and I think that's so important for us, as a society, whether it's here or in India, the more we can help the communities, the better, really.
That's right. And even as we were saying, even in a country as rich as Australia, as advanced as Australia, we still have these issues. And so with the work that I'm doing, I see these issues in these marginalised communities. Oh, it's incredible. You know, so again, I have that natural affinity to that too.
Mm. So, Kathy, we were also talking earlier, and I mean, something I strongly believe in, the value of collaboration. Collaboration enables businesses to move much more quickly. You know, how does it work in the case of a social enterprise?
Yeah, well, you know, collaboration is something I've always, you know, participated in and, you know, spoken about. And because, you know, I totally believe that the more we can work together, the faster we can move through things. Hey, it's a lot more fun. Nobody has all the answers, you know. And at the end of the day, as human beings, we are designed to be connecting. You know, that is what a human being is. And so when I started doing social enterprise, because of the nature of our businesses where we are solving very big issues, you know, the issue of poverty, for instance, is huge, and often I'm very overwhelmed by it. And so there is even more of a need to connect. And so, you know, that because the business world has always existed in silos. It doesn't matter if it's corporate, it's small business. And so this is something that, you know, as business people, we're all very aware of, and we're trying to break down those barriers. And so for all the reasons I've just mentioned, it's even more essential with social businesses.
Yeah, and look, I'm seeing this massive explosion of value-driven businesses. You know,
Yes.
it's an opportunity for many women starting businesses to express the things that they're really, really passionate about. And, you know, poverty and some of these issues are so big that no one of us is ever going to, you know, solve it individually. It's all going to be little baby steps from all of us making a difference somewhere. I think that's, you know, what we've got to accept. And maybe different people have different ideas. So
I agree. And I think, Lisa, too, we're living in a world where, you know, it's all been about capitalism for so long. And yet we have a very rich world in terms of dollars, but in terms of, you know, where people are, where people personally are at, I see more misery. Why have we got so much depression? Why have we got so much suicide in teenagers? And so I see a world where there is just so much disconnection and so much unhappiness. And it all comes back down to this deep, deep sense of wanting to connect and belong. It's built into us. And so I think that's the other reason why we're seeing this explosion of collaboration as well.
And you just touched on teenagers, and I know teenage social entrepreneurs are very close to your heart. So tell us a little bit about how you're interacting with them.
Yes, well, we have a number of our teenage ambassadors who are like me, running social businesses. They make me look really bad that they've been able to achieve so much in the same period of time or less. I suppose they have a lot more energy. They are younger, so I'll use that as my excuse. But
I love it.
Yeah, so, you know, these kids, they just get it, you know. It's like the beautiful thing is nothing for them. I mean, I suppose we were like that, right, when we were younger. Nothing for them phases them. It's like, we want to do this. Yeah, why can't we do this? And so, and they've been brought up with a different level of awareness, and it's, you know, the internet, obviously the access to all this information. So they're extremely wise beyond their years in some areas of life. And so for me, because part of my vision for the world, apart from seeing a world without poverty, is I really want to see a world where every single product or service that we purchase has a positive impact on humanity. And, you know, that's completely possible, and I believe it's going to be led by these young change makers. They will see that world in their adult time. And so that's why we're working with children, you know, that fall into that category, because, I mean, it's just a beautiful exchange too, because I'm learning from them just as much as I hope they're learning from me.
That's fantastic. So, Kathy, if I wanted to support Morocco, what would be the best place? I know we put the links to both your Facebook and your website. What would you ask us to do?
Well, if you'd love to connect with us, we'd love to connect with you. So you can go to our website, which is, as you said, going to be on this. I don't have to say, it'll be down there.
Yep.
Or you can connect to us through Facebook or LinkedIn. So they're probably the best ways to connect with us. We're very active on social. We love people stalking us, so stalk away.
But so if I wanted to buy a pair of your flip-flops, that
yes,
will immediately result in some shoes going to a child in the Hope Foundation in India?
Yes, that's right. You can just buy those online at our website. We do have various stockers too, and you can look at that on if you prefer to go into a shop, but most people just purchase online. We just ship it out. It's a very easy process.
Yeah, and look, in the lead up to Christmas, why not give a gift that will have a real impact and, you know, tell the people about doing that. So it's
exactly.
a great, yeah. So,
and just on that note too, Lisa, we have a number of Christmas special bundles that we're doing. So if you purchase more than one, you have a different pricing, because we're really wanting to incentivize. In fact, we're actually about to launch a campaign where we want to get 2,000 more shoes onto children before Christmas. So we want to have more and more Moloccos being given to those you love, and then we can give more shoes to our children at the same time.
Yeah, fantastic. So, you know, Kathy's Facebook page is here as well. So, I, you know, encourage you to like it and, yeah, jump on a website and have a look and see whether you can support her with buying some flip-flops. I know I'm going to. So, all good, all very good. And if anyone wants to catch Kathy, she'll be doing speaking at our next CBD in Sydney event on the 25th. So yeah, yeah. So we'll see you there. So yeah, please feel free to like this this video and share it amongst your friends. We'd love to see your comments.
Yes, please. Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome, Kathy.